Valentine's Day. Story by Joyce Kessel. Pictures by Ritz. Every year on February 14, we celebrate Valentine's Day. People send cards to their friends. They give presents to their sweethearts. Flower stores sell more flowers than on almost any other day of the year. Valentine's Day is a popular holiday, and it has had a long history. It began over 2,700 years ago, but it was very different then from what it is today. Valentine's Day began in Rome. Rome is a city in Italy. When Rome was built over 2,700 years ago, hungry wolves lived all around it. At night, they howled at the city gates. They killed the sheep outside the walls. Sometimes they even killed people. The Romans were afraid of the wolves, so they prayed to Lupercus. Lupercus was the Roman god who watched over sheep and shepherds. The Romans held a holiday for him each year. They asked him to keep them safe. They asked him to drive the wolves away. Finally, the wolves did disappear, but by then the Romans were used to Lupercus's holiday. They enjoyed it, so they kept on celebrating it. But as the years passed, the holiday changed. Lupercus was not as important to the Romans as he used to be. Slowly, his holiday became a holiday for Juno instead. Juno was the queen of the Roman gods. She ruled over marriage. The holiday for Juno was different from the holiday for Lupercus. It was a holiday of love. During Juno's holiday, Roman girls wrote their names on pieces of paper. They dropped the papers into a jar. Then Roman boys drew them out. The girl whose name a boy drew became his partner for the holiday. By the year 496, the Christian church had become powerful. Pope Gelasius was head of the church. He didn't believe in the old Roman gods. He didn't want people to worship them. He didn't like Juno's holiday at all. So he tried to stop it, but he could not. People enjoyed it too much, so Pope Gelasius decided to make the old holiday into a church holiday. First, he needed a reason for a holiday. He looked around for a saint to honor, and he found one named Valentine. Valentine died on February 14, 269. Juno's holiday was on February 15. Pope Gelasius ended Juno's holiday. He changed it to St. Valentine's Day. Pope Gelasius knew which St. Valentine he chose, but today no one is sure. In those days, there were at least 3 saints named Valentine. Some books say there were 8, but 2 are talked about most. Both were priests. Both were killed by Emperor Claudius. He was called Claudius the Cruel. Claudius was angry because no one would go to war. The men wanted to stay in Rome. They didn't want to leave their wives, so Claudius said no one else could get married. Valentine felt sorry for the people who were in love. He married them secretly. But Claudius found out. "Throw that man into jail," he said. Later, Claudius had Valentine killed. There is a second story about another Valentine. Claudius put this Valentine in jail too. Claudius didn't like Christians. Valentine had helped many Christians. While Valentine was in jail, he met the jailer's daughter. She was blind. Valentine performed a miracle. He made the girl see. This made Claudius angry, so he killed this Valentine too. But before Valentine died, he sent a poem to the little girl. He signed it, "From your Valentine." No one knows if these stories really happened, but whoever St. Valentine was, February 14 became his holiday. As time went on, the Christian church spread. Because Valentine's Day was now a church holiday, it spread too. By the year 1400, people in countries all over Europe celebrated Valentine's Day. Pope Gelasius had planned Valentine's Day as a religious holiday. But in most countries, it didn't work out that way. People enjoyed the old holiday of love too much to change it. In Sicily, girls got up early on Valentine's Day. Each girl stood at her window. She wanted to be sure to see the first man who passed by. He or a man who looked like him was supposed to marry her. If no man passed by, it meant that the girl would not marry that year. In Denmark, men sent white flowers called snowdrops to their sweethearts. Danish people thought snowdrops brought good luck. But in Scotland, people thought snowdrops brought bad luck. If a man gave snowdrops to a woman, she would not marry that year. In England, people were very friendly on Valentine's morning. "Good morning," they called out to their families and friends. "It's Valentine's Day." Whoever said it first got a present from the other person. When the English came to America, they brought Valentine's Day with them, but it didn't become popular right away. Life in the New World was very hard at first. People had no time for Valentine's Day. But as life got easier, Valentine's Day caught on. Now, over 150 million Valentines are sent in the US and Canada every year. Who sent the first Valentine? One legend says it was Saint Valentine. He could pick violets through his jail window. He wrote messages on the leaves, then birds delivered the messages. Another legend tells us that the first Valentine was made in the year 1415. England and France were at war, and Charles, Duke of Orleans, was captured. The English locked him in the Tower of London. Charles missed his wife very much, so he sent her love poems. These stories are just legends, though. No one knows who really made the first Valentine. But by the year 1600, many people were sending them. Some people copied poems, some made up their own. Then they decorated their cards. Since the 1800s, Valentines have been made by machines. Some have been plain, some have been fancy, some have been funny, some have been sweet. Some have even been mean. Valentines have changed over the years just like clothes. In the 1830s, Valentines were very fancy. Some were made of silver, others were made of shells or lace. They cost as much as $10. In the 1860s and 1870s, Valentines got mean. They made fun of fat people. They made fun of thin people. They made fun of almost everyone. These cards made many people unhappy. They were called penny dreadfuls. It was a good name for them. They cost a penny. And they were dreadful. Because of them, Valentine's Day was less popular for a while. Ribbons go back to the days when ladies gave ribbons to their favorite knights. The knights carried those ribbons when they went to war. Roses, too, are often seen on Valentine's. The rose is called the flower of love. Violets also stand for love. This probably goes back to the story of Saint Valentine. We often see lace on Valentine's. The word lace comes from a Latin word. Latin was the language that the Romans spoke. The Latin word means to catch. Lace was supposed to catch the heart of a loved one. The chubby boy with wings who we see on many Valentines is Cupid. Cupid was the Roman god of love. He always carries a bow and arrows. He uses them to shoot love into people's hearts. This year, people in England, France, the United States, and Canada will be sending Valentines. In England and France, people send Valentines only to sweethearts. They do not usually sign the cards. The person who gets the card may never know who sent it. But in the US and Canada, We enjoy sending Valentine's to our families and friends too. Valentine's Day has become a day when we remember to tell our friends that we like them. Hi! If you like this video, please give this a like and hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified whenever I release a new video.